we all connect with that. It's so easy, it's so pure, it's so radiant. It just touches my heart. And so today, as we talk about realms of the heart, we're going to really be focused on this idea of Earth Day and celebrating the beauty of the earth, the voices of children, and the truth is we're invited to celebrate Earth Day every day. And we are invited to celebrate Earth Day in recognition of not only the earth, but all things everywhere. And that's not as easy, because it's easy to celebrate this beautiful planet and all of the awesome, incredible, unique creatures that are not walking around on two legs in human skin, yeah? But our invitation is to cultivate the capacity to embrace all of it. So that's what we're going to talk about today, to recognize the allness of God in all things, the sacredness in all things. This idea that no matter what it is, no matter who it is, no matter where it is, that everything is, as one of our authors says, ensouled. Don't you love that word? Ensouled. Everything is replete with spiritual forces. And it's the truth, and we feel it when we're in nature. Isn't that the truth? We feel it, absolutely. And so our work is to witness the amazing circle of creation that's all around us and get our circle big enough so that we feel the sacredness, we feel the ensoulment of our experience regardless of what's going on, regardless of the human condition that we may be embracing in our own lives and in the heart of the world. This is our work. And once we recognize that everything is sacred, guess what? We have the responsibility to live in balance with that. We have the responsibility to bring forth our radiant essence to that, to remember who we are within that. Each other, the blue planet, the animals on this planet, all of the ecological systems on this planet, and let that be our guide, you see. Let that be our guide. I love it. One of the teachers says we need to treat the world, everyone and everything in it, with reverence. I noticed as you were coming forward to collect your flowers from our meditation period, there was a sense of reverence on your faces. There was this deep connection with the beauty and the awesomeness, even if you happened to pick up a flower that didn't have a blooming flower on it. There was a sense of reverence as you picked up this living thing. This is what we're talking about, to cherish all of it, each other and all of life. There's my little friend, that guy, I think his name is Oscar. Anybody see the movie yet? Did you see it? Chimpanzee, the Jane Goodall Disney film. They released it for Earth Day. This awesome image of this beautiful little, it's very easy to see the sacred in those eyes, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Very easy to see the sacred in those eyes. There's no question about that. And so we're invited through our awareness of the sacredness of all of life, that we are not to dominate each other or the planet or anything on this planet, but our invitation is to have dominion, to take care of it, to protect it, to cherish it, not to plunder it, not to harm it. And that includes each other. It includes our relationships with each other. It includes our relationships in our families. It includes our personal relationship with the earth. It includes this idea of recycling and reusing and all of those things. To refrain from causing harm allows us to open to the possibility of seeing the sacred in everything. It broadens our view. You know, a couple of years ago, those of you who were with us at Common Ground in the very beginning know that Glenda and I went down to Puerto Rico to a conference with Deepak Chopra, and it was at that time called the Alliance for a New Humanity. And one of the things that we learned there that made so much sense, and it's something that we can really experience as we're opening to the realms of the heart. You know, we can do all the ecological work in the world. We can do all the work about, you know, finding peace and getting rid of war. We can do lots of things about helping people not be hungry and poverty-stricken on our planet. We can do lots of things about helping human rights abuses, but guess what? If we do any one of them singularly, it doesn't work. They all work together. So our recognition of this big, beautiful blue planet is only one piece of the puzzle. Our call is to embrace that we've got to work on all of these levels within ourselves, end the violence and the war in our own hearts, to do what we can do to end the poverty and the hunger of whatever is closest to us, and then when we do that, we can move out, to be kind and reverent and respectful to all of what is around us, so that we don't ourselves cause, human rights abuses just through our thoughts and our actions and our words with one another. Think about it. We often have violence with one another and we don't even recognize it. So we're invited to not only celebrate Earth today, but to recognize that it all has to work together. Treat the world and everything with reverence. Cherish it all. And what I know about that is I read a statistic that said that the more green space there is in an area, the more connected we are to the Earth, to the big blue planet, the more sacred we know this planet to be. Guess what? By natural consequences, violence and crime reduce. Isn't that interesting? The more green space there is in an experience, the less crime and the less violence. That tells us something. Nature's a great teacher. Nature is the master teacher. Nature is the spiritual master in all of these things. I love that idea. So one of the things that a saying that I've used in my own life, sort of a mantra for my own action and for what I see around me is, this idea that when elephants fight, it is the grass that gets trampled. When elephants fight, it's the grass that gets trampled. And so we keep that as a metaphor for our own activity in the world. So, David, let's go to the next slide. So we look to the simplicity of nature as our master spiritual teacher. Those of you who are very interested in literature, I see Reverend Susan's not here today, but she would resonate with this, the poetry of William Blake. To see the world in a grain of sand. To see heaven in a wildflower. To see heaven in a wildflower. I chose this image for that reason. I remember I was thinking about some ideas around this topic today, and one of the things I can remember is, I'm not even sure, I think it was in the 70s, but I remember hearing about and seeing on television a guru. I think it might have been one of those Maharishi dudes, And I remember that everybody thought he was just completely nuts, because his entire talk was about looking at a flower. Does anybody remember that? That was the talk. That was the lesson. The flower. Frankly, I didn't get it in those days. Today I would get it in a different way. Today I would get it in a different way. But this idea, no words can define and describe the experience of being with, fully present in the now moment, the energy of that sacred whatever it is. That's what we're talking about. All of the spiritual traditions use nature in their teaching stories. Those of you who from a Christian, Judeo-Christian tradition know about the lilies of the field. Teaches us to trust. Don't have to toil and trouble ourselves. Look at the lilies. They're doing just fine. Look at the mustard seed, how tiny that is. If we just have faith and trust, as tiny as that little mustard seed is. You see, these ideas, this natural world gives us the clue, the key to how to be in the world. Taoism, it's all about the flow of water, the way of water, going with the flow. We teach that in so many ways, but it's so simple. Just go sit by a river, connect with the sacred, watch the water and take the lesson from it. It's what it's about, you see, this natural world. So many songs. I heard Robert singing It's a Wonderful World this morning. This idea of it stardust from the 40s, this connection with that energy of the natural world gives meaning to our lives, doesn't it? At every level. It's what it's about. So this idea that when we are in touch with the sacredness in all things, it radiates from in here out into the world. It starts right here, at the level of the heart, and then moves outward into every thought, every activity, every word that we speak. So when we know how to treat everything with reverence and cherish it and polish it and put our attention on it fully, things become very different, and we get to choose the values that we want to live by. We're not overcome by the complexity of our human experience when we can tap into remembering, wow, I am part of this incredible energy in this incredible, awesome, complex universe. Let what you love occupy the center of your life. I love that invitation. So here's your invitation. Make it a daily practice. We talked about this last week. Make it a daily practice to connect with something that reminds you of the allness of God. And most traditions invite you to step into nature, to get quiet, to find that quiet place. Protect what you love, enhance it, polish it, feed it. Protect this precious human walk and all of the people and all of the things and all of the places that are part of that. Set an intention to see the sacredness in everything and everyone and in all of the experiences that you encounter. Celebrate Earth Day today and every day. Celebrate everything. Celebrate everyone. Celebrate every being on this planet. Celebration is the seed of love. It opens the realm of the heart according to Anna Day and Judith, and I believe that. And so my invitation to you is to celebrate the beauty of the earth today